Does anyone know what we're talking about?
Da li neko zna o čemu ćemo pričati večeras?
Stress. Stress is a part of what we're talking about.
Stres je deo onoga o čemu ćemo pričati.
We're talking about the whole issue of the broken mind.
Govorimo o celom problemu slomljenog uma.
It's the most important talk you're going to hear.
To je najvažnije predavanje koje ćete čujete.
And so rather than talk about stress,
nego samo da nećemo govoriti samo o stresu.
see, stress is the negative way of looking at the mind.
Stres je neki negativan način kako gledamo na um.
And this is one of the problems.
I ovo je jedan od problema.
We think negative.
Mi razmišljamo negativno.
And when you think negative, things are not going to go right with you.
I ako razmišljate negativno, stvari ne mogu da idu pozitivno.
Now I'm going to mention stress.
Ja ću pomenuti stres.
And I'm going to tell you a story about my experience with stress.
Ja ću vam pričati moje iskustvo kako sam se nosio s stresom.
The thing that was causing the stress did not change.
Stvari koje su mu uzrokovale stres nisu se promenile.
I changed.
Ja sam se promenio.
And that's the most important thing.
I to je možda i najvažnija stvar.
So we're going to talk about cheerfulness, our attitude of cheerfulness.
I govorit ćemo o veselosti i našem stavu.
A positive way of looking at life.
Znači, pozitivan način kako da gledamo na život.
Now the Greeks had a thing called Greek dualism.
Znači, Grci su imali ono što se zove grčki dualizam.
The way they looked at the human being
način kako su gledali na ljudsko biće
was two things.
Su bile dve stvari.
It was the body.
To je bilo telo.
The Greek word was soma.
Grčki naziv za to je bio soma.
The second part
drugi deo
was the mind.
Je bio um.
That's what they called the psyche.
To su zvali psiha.
Now take both of those words and put them together.
I ako povežete te dve reči zajedno,
what do you have?
Šta dobijate?
That's right, psychosomatic.
Psihosomatske.
And what is that?
I šta je to?
How many have heard of psychosomatic?
Koliko da čulo za psihosomatske?
Yeah, everyone's heard of it.
Everybody, svi su čuli.
What is it?
Šta je to?
The effect of the mind on the body.
Uticaj uma na telo.
How many diseases begin in the mind?
Koliko bolesti potiče iz uma?
This will surprise you.
Ovo će vas iznenaditi.
90%.
90%
begin right here.
Počinju upravo ovdje.
And I'll be showing you some statistics on that through this little program.
I kroz ovaj mali program ja ću vam pokazati statistike o tome.
What you think is everything.
Ono što vi mislite je u stvari sve.
But I do not believe in Greek dualism.
Ali ja ne vjerujem u grčki dualizam.
I believe we are three parts.
Ja vjerujem da su mi trodimenzorna bića.
Yes, we got a body.
Da, mi imamo telo.
We have a mind.
Imamo um.
But what's the third part?
Ali koji je treći?
Spirit. The spirit.
Duh.
Okay. Now, we can all see the person's body.
Mi svi možemo vidimo telo osobe.
And if the body is blinking and moving, you know it has a mind.
I ako se telo trepće ili pomera, znate da imate um.
Where's the spirit?
A gde je duh? Duša.
It's the front part of the brain.
Duh je ovaj frontalni deo mozga.
The most important part of your brain.
To je najvažniji deo vašeg mozga.
And it's the only part of your those three that you can live without.
I to je u stvari jedan deo bez koga možete da živite.
If they took this out of your head,
ako bi ovo izadali iz vaše glave,
you can still sit there and listen to this lecture.
Vi dalje možete da sedite i da slušate ove predavanja.
You can take notes.
Možete imati da zapise.
You could understand everything that was being said.
Možete da razumete sve što ćemo da govorimo.
But you'd be missing something.
Ali nešto će vam nedostajati.
Now, does anyone live without that frontal lobe?
Da li svi žive bez tog čeonog režnja?
Many people do.
Puno ljudi.
This guy does.
Ova osoba živi.
This is not a photoshopped picture.
Ovo nije neki Photoshop slika.
He had an accident.
Imao je nezgodu.
That part of his brain is gone.
Ovaj deo mozga je odstranjen.
But there's something very special about that part of the brain.
Ali postoji nešto posebno u tom delu mozga.
It tells the difference between right and wrong.
Govori razliku između dobrog i lošeg.
It's your conscience.
To je vaša savest.
It's your willpower.
To je vaša snaga želje.
Is that important?
Da li je to važno?
Right? Have you ever woken up in the morning?
Da li ste se nekada probudili ujutro
You just didn't feel right.
i ne osjećate se baš najbolje?
It was going to be a really grumpy day.
Biće onako dosta težak dan.
Ever felt like that?
Da li ste nekada osjećali tako?
At that point,
U tom trenutku
the frontal lobe can make a choice.
čelni ređen može da napravi izbor.
It says you can stay like this all day long,
Kaže, možeš ovako da ostaneš ceo dan,
which will weaken your immune system,
što će slabiti tvoj imunni sistem,
open you up for all kinds of diseases,
otvorit će vrata za sve druge bolesti,
make yourself even more miserable,
činit ćete da budete još lošim
and make everyone around you miserable.
i učinit ćete i druge da se osjećaju loše oko vas.
Or your frontal lobe can say, I'm not going to be like this.
Ili vaš čelni ređen će reći, ja ne želim da budem tako danas.
And you can change.
I ti to možda promeniš.
It's within your power.
To je u vašoj moći.
No one else can change you.
Niko ne može drugi da vas promeni.
But some people say, but life isn't fair to me.
Ali neko će reći, život nije pošten prema meni.
Life doesn't have to be fair.
Život ne mora da bude pošten prema meni.
You know, some people are born with great difficulties.
Neki ljudi su rođeni sa velikim nedostacima.
How many know of Nick Vlucha?
Koliko vas zna Nika Vujčića?
He's an amazing person.
On je nevjerojatna osoba.
Was he born equal to everybody else?
Da li on isto podjednako rođen kao i svi drugi oko njega?
No.
Ne.
Matter of fact, he wanted to commit suicide.
U stvari on je teo da izvrši samoubistvo,
But he couldn't.
ali nije mogao.
He had no arms and no legs.
Nije imao ruke ni noge.
But he is a happy man.
Ali on veseo čovjek.
And he travels the world making other people happy.
I on putuje po svetu činjeći druge ljude srećnim.
Yeah, life sometimes isn't fair.
Život često puta nije pošten.
But it's what you do with what's left.
Ali ono što vi učinite sa onim što vam je dato.
Jen Bricker.
Jen Bricker.
Has anyone ever heard of her?
Da li neko čuo za nju?
Yeah, I don't hear so much about this girl.
Većina vas možda i ne čuje ovoj djevojci.
She was born in Bucharest, Romania.
Ona je rođena u Bukureštu, u Rumuniji.
When her father came to the hospital after she was born,
kad je bila rođena, njen otac je došao u bolnicu.
he looked at her,
On je pogledao,
took his wife,
uzeo svoju suprugu
left the hospital,
i napustio bolnicu.
left the baby there.
A ostavio bebu u bolnici.
Why?
Zašto?
She was born with no legs.
Ona je rođena bez nogu.
And her father says, I don't want a child like that.
Rekao je, ja ne želim dete ovako dete.
She was adopted by a couple from the United States.
Ona je usvojena od strane bračnog para iz Sjedinjenih Država.
As she was growing up, she had one great desire.
I kako ona odrastala, ona imala jednu veliku želju.
She wanted to be in gymnastics.
Ona je željela da bude gimnastičarka.
With no legs. Yeah.
Bez nogu, da.
But they had a rule in their house.
Ali imali su pravilo u njenoj kući.
There's one word they do not use.
Postoji jedna reč koju ne mogu da koriste.
Can't.
Ne mogu.
You never use that word in this house.
Mi nikada nećemo da koristimo tu reč u našoj kući.
And she became a gymnastics champion.
I ona je postala šampion u gimnastici.
Now there's something interesting again about her story.
Postoji još nešto interesantno iz njene priče.
She had a hero growing up.
Ona imala jednog heroja kad je odrastala.
A great gymnast.
Nekog velikog gimnastičarku.
Named Dominique Morciano.
Dominique Morciano.
Anyone ever heard of her?
Da li neko čuo za nju?
She won the Olympic gold medal in gymnastics.
Ona je dobila zlatnu medalju u gimnastici, na olimpijskim igrama.
That's her sister.
To je u stvari njena sestra.
Yeah. See, the father wanted his children to be gymnasts.
I njen otac je želeo da njena deca budu gimnastičari.
So he rejected the girl with no legs.
I on je odbacio devojku bez nogu.
And she became a champion.
A ona je dalje postala šampion.
I want you all to remember this.
Hoću da zapamtite jednu stvar.
Especially you.
Pogotovo ti.
If you think you can do something,
Ako mislite da možete nešto da uradite,
you're right.
u pravu ste.
You can.
Vi to možete.
That's a rule.
To je pravilo.
If you think you can't do something,
Ako mislite da nešto ne možete,
you're right.
u pravu ste.
You can't.
Vi to ne možete.
Why?
Zašto?
Because it's in your mind.
Zato što je u vašem umu.
This is the only thing that stops you.
Ovo je jedina stvar koja se zaustavlja.
People do great things with great difficulties.
Ljudi rade velike stvari sa velikim problemima.
It's what they do with their mind.
To je ono što čini sa umom.
Positive emotions, positive thoughts
Pozitivne emocije i misli
are a sure predictor that you're going to be a healthy person.
oni su siguran
Just read it. Yeah.
oni su povezane sa
Just read it.
pozitivne emocije su povezane sa boljim zdravljem.
Okay. On the other hand,
S druge strane,
negative emotions say that you're probably going to be a sick person.
negativne emocije će kazati da ste vi bolesna osoba.
This is what medical science is telling us today.
Ovo nam nauka kaže danas.
Now, if you go back 3,000 years,
Ako se vratimo 3000 godina,
the man considered the wisest man who ever lived,
koga ljudi smatruju da je najmudriji čovjek koji ikada živeo,
and who is that?
a ko je to?
Solomon.
Solomon.
He said the same thing.
On je rekao istu stvar.
He said, a merry heart does good like a medicine.
Kaže, veselo srce pomaže kao lek.
So this is just half of what he said.
Ovo je stvar samo pola od onoga što on rekao,
But let's look at the positive side.
ali ajmo sada gledamo pozitivnu stvar.
If you anticipate a happy event,
Ako vi očekujete nešto veselo da se desi,
something's going to happen and you're looking forward to it,
nešto što će se desiti, vi gledate s uzbuđenjem na to,
your beta endorphins are going to go up
vaši beta endorfini će porasti
27%.
27%.
Your human growth hormone
Hormon rasta
will go up, will increase 87%.
će se povećati 87%.
That's just thinking about the happy event.
To je samo ako mislite na taj dobar trenutak.
So what do those two things do?
I šta ove dve stvari rade?
Well, the human growth hormone grows your immune system.
Znači, hormon rasta razvija vaš imunni sistem.
The beta endorphins make the immune system stronger.
A beta endorfini čine vaš imunni sistem jakim.
Do you want a stronger immune system?
Da li želite jak imunni sistem?
That's what we talked about last night.
O tome smo govorili večeras.
Then you need more beta endorphins.
Onda vam trebaju više beta endorfina.
Would you like some beta endorphins right now?
Da li bi želi više beta endorfina sada?
Very easy.
Jako je lako.
Just smile.
Samo se nasmešite.
Something about smiling releases beta endorphins in the brain.
Nešto sa osmehom se dešava kad se opuštaju beta endorfini u mozgu.
What happens if you don't feel like smiling?
Šta se dešava ako se nosite pa da se smijete?
Then force a smile.
Onda nasilite se da se nasmijete.
Even that will release beta endorphins
Čak će i to osloboditi beta endorfine
and make your immune system stronger.
i činit će vaš imunni sistem jakim.
This is a new direction in medical science,
Ovo je neki novi smer u medicinskoj nauci,
studying the human smile.
istraživanje ljudskih osmeha.
See, the smile looks into the person's mind.
Znači, osmeh gleda u ljudski um.
So, they did a big study on American baseball players.
Ali oni su veliko istraživanje na bejsbol igračima u Americi.
Everyone's always taking pictures of baseball players.
Znači, stalno ih slikaju.
So they looked at the smiles of these players.
Onda su gledali osmeh ovih igrača.
Now look at these two baseball players.
Znači, gledajte ove dva bejsbol igrača.
Does that look like a very big smile?
Da li ovo izgleda kao veliki osmeh?
Not much of a smile at all.
Nije veliki osmeh.
How about this guy?
A šta mislite o ovom?
That's a big
To
smile.
je velik osmeh.
Look closer.
Pogledajte bliže.
This man right here, Roger Maris,
Ovaj igrač Roger Maris
he died at 51.
umre sa 51 godinu.
But Ernie Banks
Ali ovaj Ernie Banks
died at 84.
je umro sa 84.
This is what they found in this study.
Ovo su saznali u istraživanju.
People who smile a lot live longer.
Ljudi koji se smeše više, duže žive.
Ernie Banks had a philosophy.
Da Ernie Banks ima jednu filozofiju.
You have to find happiness within yourself.
Morate da nađete sreću u sebi.
If you can't be happy here, you will be happy nowhere.
Ako ne možete da budete veseli ovdje, vi nećete biti srećni, veseli bilo gde drugde.
And you see this worked out in society every day.
I to vidite u društvu svaki dan.
Two people get married.
dve osobe se venčaju.
And pretty soon the loveliness of their marriage starts to disintegrate.
Znači, kratko posle toga, ljubav između njih dvoje se nekako osipa.
So they get divorced.
I oni se razvedu.
And some other fools marry them.
I neka druga budala ih oženi.
Now you got two other couples who are unhappy.
Sad imate druga dva para koja su nesretna.
Why?
Zašto?
You took yourself with you into the next marriage.
Zato što si ti sebe uzeo u drugi brak.
Another study that was done.
Još jedno istraživanje je urađeno.
114 women who went to university between 58 and 60.
114 žene koje otišu u univerzitetu 1958 do 60.
They studied the smiles in their photographs.
Istraživali su njihove osmijeh na fotografijama.
They have three levels.
Imali su 3 nivoa.
The highest level is called a Duchenne smile.
Znači, najveći nivo se zove taj Duchinov osmijeh.
And I'll show you what that is in a moment.
I ja ću pokazati ukratko šta je to.
Those who had a Duchenne smile
Ovi koji su imali taj Duchin osmijeh
were happily married
su bili srećno oženjeni
to the same person
za istu osobu
their whole lives.
ceo život.
The ones who had the Duchenne smile
Ovi koji su imali Duchinov osmijeh
were healthy and more athletic.
bili su više zdravi i više su atletski bili.
And stayed that way into old age.
I ostali su takvi u starosti.
So one of the keys to longevity,
Jedan ključ dugovečnosti,
learn how to smile.
naučite kako da se smijete.
But here's how you measure a smile.
Ali evo kako možete da merite osmijeh.
It's not just the mouth.
Nije samo usta.
It's the eyes also.
To su oči isto.
So you got this muscle is called zygomaticus.
Znači ovo su mišići zajgomatske.
It's a muscle right here.
To su mišići upravo ovde.
And it pulls you into the smile.
I on ovako gura ka gore.
But then there's the orbicularis that surrounds your eye.
To je orbicularis koji okružava vaše oči.
And we get these little smile lines.
I onda imamo te osmehe, crte osmeha.
Now I'm going to show you a picture.
Sad ću pokazati sliku.
You're not going to see the mouth.
Nećete vidjeti usta.
You're just going to see the eyes.
Samo ćete gledati oči.
Tell me if these are sincere smile eyes.
I recite mi da li su ovo iskreni osmesi.
Are they?
Da li su? Yes.
I'll show you the rest of the picture in a minute.
Ja ću pokazati ostatak slike malo kasnije.
But when I look at those eyes,
Ja kad gledam te oči,
I don't see that squinting, happy look.
ja ne vidim taj u očima osmeh.
I see that wide open stare.
Ja vidim onako otvorene oči koje samo gledaju.
See, you're not used to looking at real smiles.
Jer niste navikli da gledate na prave osmehe.
A study was done with Catholic nuns.
Istraživanje rađeno sa katoličkim opaticama.
They dressed the same,
Isto su se obukli.
got the same religion,
Istu veru imaju.
eat about the same things,
Jedu iste stvari.
but their attitudes are different.
Ali njihov stav je drugačiji.
So they classified the nuns into three groups.
I klasifikovao se ove opatice u 3 grupe.
Very positive ones,
One koje su jako pozitivne,
negative ones,
negativne
and very negative
i
ones.
koje su jako negativne.
Okay? And then they were looking to see who could live to be 85.
I onda su gledali koji će doživjeti do 85. godine.
Of the first group,
U prvoj grupi
90% were still alive at 85 years.
90% njih je bilo i dalje živo u 85. godine.
Negative group,
Ove negativne,
only 34%.
samo 34.
The very negative ones,
Jako negativne,
11%.
11%.
That's a huge difference.
To je velika razlika.
But they kept the study going
Ali nastavili su istraživanje dalje.
to see which group would be the last one with a representative in it.
Koja će zadnja grupa da ima svog predstavnika?
By the time they got to the age of 94,
Kad su došli do 94 godine,
first group was all gone,
prva grupa je bila nestala,
the negative ones.
oni jako negativni,
The other group of negative ones, all gone.
i ovi drugi negativni su isto otišli.
54% of the positive ones were still alive.
Ovi 54% koji su pozitivni dalje bili živi.
What a difference.
Koja je razlika?
And where's the difference?
I gde je razlika?
It's in the mind.
U umu.
Because it's the mind that tells you to smile.
jer vam govori da se smešite.
It's the mind that interprets how the world is treating you.
Je taj koji oslikava kako vas sve tretira.
Happy people,
veseli ljudi,
if researchers find out that they are usually immune to viruses.
Istraživanje pokazuju da su manji otporni su na viruse.
And if they get in, they have a very mild effect on the people.
I ako dobiju neku bolest, oni nemaju veliki utjecaj na njih.
So Solomon says a merry heart does good like a medicine.
Znači Solomon je rekao veselo srce pomaže kao lek.
What's the rest of the sentence?
Šta je ostatak te rečenice?
A broken spirit dries the bones.
Duh žalosni suši kosti.
Is that true?
Da li je to istina?
Does medical science agree with this?
Da li se nauka zdravstvena slaže s tim?
Depressed people have more osteoporosis.
Depresivni ljudi imaju više osteoporoze.
And you thought it was not drinking milk.
A vi ste mislili da ne pijete dovoljno mleka.
Milk causes osteoporosis.
Znači mleko uzrokuje osteoporozu.
And this is in premenopausal women.
A ovo je u premenopauzalnim ženama.
Usually we worry about osteoporosis when we come postmenopausal.
Obično mi brinemo o osteoporozi već kad smo prošli menopauzu.
Which means every one of us are in the women, premenopausal area.
Čini većina nas smo u nekim premenopauznoj sredini.
Depression is a decision.
Znači depresija je odluka.
Is how you're looking at your world around you.
Onako kako gledate svet oko vas.
They had a group of people taking part in a study.
Imali su grupu ljudi koja su bila deo jednog istraživanja.
How much calcium does a human body need?
Koliko je kalcijuma potrebno u ljudskom organizmu?
So in every person they would give them 1,500 milligrams of calcium every day.
Znači svaki dan osobama dali 1500 mg kalcijuma na dan.
Then they collect their feces and their urine.
Znači onda bi uzeli njihovu stolicu i mokraću.
See how much calcium they were losing.
I onda bi gledali koliko kalcijuma gube.
One man was losing 800 milligrams a day.
Jedan je gubio 800 mg na dan.
Which simply means his body only wanted 700 milligrams.
Što znači njegovo telo samo tražilo nekih 700 mg.
That went every single day was the same.
I isti dan je bilo svaki dan.
But in the middle of the study,
ali na kraju istraživanja,
his wife died.
Njegova žena je umrla.
And he got depressed.
I on je postao depresivan.
But he stayed in the study.
Ali ostao u istraživanju.
He was no longer losing 800 milligrams.
On više nije gubio 800 mg.
From then on,
u tom trenutku,
he was losing 2,300 milligrams.
On je gubio 2300 mg na dan.
Why?
Zašto?
A broken spirit drives the bones.
Slomljen duh suši kosti.
Now, what about heart disease?
Šta ćemo sa bolestima srca?
Two groups of women.
Dve grupe žena.
They had the same risk factors for heart disease.
Imali iste faktore rizika za bolesti srca.
And they looked at basically four factors.
Gledali su 4 faktora.
They were older.
Bili su stariji.
They had high blood cholesterol.
Imali su visok holesterol u krvi.
They had high blood pressure.
Visok pritisak.
And they were overweight.
I bili su gojazni.
Now, two groups.
Dve grupe.
The first group,
prva grupa,
they didn't even think about it.
Čak nisu ne razmišljali.
They just lived their fat, happy lives.
Oni su uživali njihov gojazan život.
The other group,
druga grupa,
they were always worried about
oni su stalno brinuli.
I got the risk factors for heart disease.
Imam faktore rizika za bolesti srca.
I might die.
Moram umreću.
What happened?
Šta se desilo?
4 times more of them died of heart disease.
4 puta više njih je umrlo od bolesti srca.
And they had the same risk factors.
I imali su iste faktore rizika.
Someone's in the hospital.
Neko je u bolnici.
They're scheduled for surgery.
I znači imaju zakazanu operaciju.
If they tell the doctors, I don't think I'm going to survive.
I ako oni kažu doktoru, ako mislim da neću preživjeti ovu operaciju,
doctors hate to do surgery on them.
Doktori ne vole da rade operacije na njima.
Why?
Zašto?
Almost all of them will die.
Skoro svi oni će da umru.
Why?
Zašto?
They told themselves that.
Zato što oni su sebi to rekli.
I'm not going to live.
Ja neću živjeti.
And they make it come true.
I oni učine da to stvarno postane istina.
What's that word? That Greek word?
I koja je to grčka reč?
Psychosomatic.
Psihosomatska.
Yeah. If a person loses a loved one,
Ako osoba izgubi nekog voljenog,
they go into sorrow, which is another form of depression.
oni odlaze u tugu, što je jedna depresija.
For 2 years after that death, if they keep it within themselves,
2 godine posle smrti, ako to ne drže u sebi,
their risk of dying of a heart attack is 6 times higher.
rizik da
In the 2nd century,
u 2. veku
there's a doctor named Galen.
bio je doktor po imenu Galen.
He made an observation about his breast cancer patients.
On je napravio neku observaciju sa pacijentima koji su imali rak dojke.
They tend to be melancholic.
Njihova tendencija je bila da su bili melanholični.
We got to raise our spirits.
Moramo podignemo naš duh.
But sometimes we can have that happy feeling snatched away in a moment.
Ali naš taj dobar osjećaj radosti može da se oduzme od nas jako brzo.
2 women were having health issues.
2 žene su imale zdravstvenih problema.
They lived in the same city,
Živjeli su u istom gradu,
different sides of the city.
u drugim delovima grada.
They had different doctors.
Imali su različite doktore.
And both doctors sent both ladies to the same hospital on the same day.
I u toku istoga dana 2 različita doktora su poslala ove 2 žene u istu bolnicu.
They scheduled them for a lot of tests to see what's the problem.
I imali su zakazana ispitivanja toku celog dana da vidu čemu je problem.
After a long day of testing,
Posle celog dana ispitivanja,
each lady was brought into an office with a doctor.
oba 2 žene su došle kod doktora u ordinaciju
And they received a diagnosis.
i dobili su dijagnozu.
What's a diagnosis?
Šta je dijagnoza?
I'm going to give you a good definition.
Daću vam dobru definiciju.
It's an educated guess as to what your problem is.
To je obrazovni pogodak onakoga kakva je vaša prognoza.
Because sometimes they make a mistake.
Jer oni nekada znaju da ne pogreše.
All right, the first person,
Prva osoba
they were told, you're doing fine.
je rečeno, vi ste sasvim dobro.
Got some very minor health issues.
Imate neke male zdravstvene probleme,
We can fix this.
ali mi to možemo da rešimo.
You got many years to live.
Imate puno još godina života.
The second person,
Druga osoba,
she was told, you've got terminal cancer.
njoj je rečeno, vi imate smrtonosni rak.
There's nothing we can do.
Ne možemo ništa da učinimo za vas.
It is so far advanced.
Toliko je uznapredovalo,
Then they gave her the prognosis.
i onda su joj dali prognozu.
And what's the prognosis?
A šta je prognoza?
An educated guess about what's going to happen.
Opet neki samo pogodak onako šta će se desiti.
He says you've only got a few months to live.
Znači, rekao si, imaš samo par meseci da živiš.
How did she feel?
Kako se ona osjećala?
But there was a problem.
Ali tu je bio jedan problem.
When they went to the hospital,
Kad su otišli u bolnicu,
their medical records got switched.
njini kartoni su se zamenili.
He said, well, just unswitch them.
Znači, samo ih vratite nazad.
Well, here's the big problem.
Ali evo gde je bio velik problem.
The ladies had the same names.
Imali su ista imena.
So, and what really happened,
I u stvari šta se desilo?
the lady that was told that she was going to die
Ovo koje je rečeno da će da umre,
was the healthy one.
je bila zdrava.
And what happened?
Šta se desilo?
Within a few months, she was dead.
Za par meseci ona je umrla.
The one that was really the sick one,
A ova koja je bila stvarno bolesna,
and she was told everything's good,
i njoj je rečeno da je sve dobro,
lived a lot longer.
živjela je puno duže.
Where was the difference?
Gde je razlika?
In the mind. I met a doctor a few years ago in Texas.
Pre par godina sam upoznao doktora u Teksasu.
He'd written a book,
Napisao je knjigu
gave me a copy.
i dao mi je tu knjigu.
The first story in the book,
Prva priča iz te knjige
telling about a man who was having some health problems.
govori priču o jednom čovjeku koji ima zdravstvene probleme.
He had some testing done.
Imao je neka ispitivanja
He got the diagnosis.
i on je dobio dijagnozu.
You have stage 4 liver cancer.
I imate 4. stadijum raka jetre,
Inoperable. We can't do anything for you.
koji ne možemo da operišemo, ne možemo ništa da učinimo za vas.
You just have a short time to live.
Imaš samo kratak vremenski period života.
Wow. When he said those words,
I kad mu je to rekao,
and we call that the prognosis,
i Mi to zovemo prognozom.
A clock watch starts in your mind.
I onda štoperika počne da radi u vašem umu.
I've got a couple of months to live.
Imam par mjeseci života.
And that's all he focuses on.
I to je na što se on fokusirao.
And a couple of months later, he died.
I par mjeseci kasnije on je umro.
They brought him back to the hospital.
Znači onda su ga opet doveli u bolnicu.
They took out his liver.
Izveli su njegovu jetru.
And they found one little tumor on his liver.
I naći su jedan mali tumor na njegovoj jetri.
What killed him?
Šta ga je ubilo?
His mind.
Njegov um.
Yeah. The prognosis is an educated guess.
Znači, prognoza je samo neki pogodak.
Don't listen to the prognosis.
Nemojte da slušate prognoze.
Doctors are not God.
Doktori nisu bogovi.
We're in his hands.
Mi smo u njegovim rukama.
Johns Hopkins University.
John Hopkins univerzitet.
They did a study on things that make cancer grow.
Radi se istraživanje o tome šta utiče da rak se razvije, raste.
Number one thing on the list.
Prva stvar na toj listi
was attitude.
Je bio vaš stav.
They say it's a disease of the mind, the body, and the soul.
Kaže, rak je bolest uma, tela i duše.
And here's what they also say.
I evo šta su još rekli.
That happiness is almost as important as not smoking.
Kaže, radost može da bude važniji faktor zdravlja nego pušenje.
Another way of putting that.
I jedan drugi način, kako možda si kažemo.
A happy smoker
znači, veseli pušač
has about the same health risk as an unhappy non-smoker.
Ima isti faktor rizika kao nepušač koji nije vesel.
So what's the best thing to be?
I koji je najbolji način da budemo?
A happy non-smoker.
Znači, veseli nepušač.
Okay, when you're dealing with disease,
kada se nosite sa nekom bolešću,
this is very important.
Ovo je jako važno.
We got to get at the root of the problem.
Moramo da idemo u koren problema.
Now, remember the basic foundation principle of health?
Znači, osnovne principe temelje zdravlja.
On the first night.
Prve večeri.
What was it?
Šta je to?
Reason from cause to effect.
Da rezonujemo od uzroka do posljedica.
So when you study disease,
kada proučavate bolest,
try to find the cause.
Pokušajte da nađete uzrok.
Now there's a doctor in Germany.
Postoji doktor u Nemačkoj
named Dr. Hamer.
Dr. Hamer.
He talks about psychosomatic therapy.
On govori o psihosomatskim terapijama.
See, this is what happened.
I ovo šta se dešava?
He had a son that he loved dearly.
Imao je sina koga je jako voleo.
He got shot.
On nekog upucao.
Died 3 months later.
I 3 mjeseca kasnije umro.
At the same time, Dr. Hamer developed cancer.
I u tom vremenu posle toga doktor taj Hamer dobio rak.
And he realized this is not a coincidence.
I shvatio da ovo nije slučajnost.
So what did he do?
I šta on učinio?
He studied 20,000 cancer patients.
On je istraživao 20,000 pacijenata koji su imali rak.
And this is what he discovered.
I evo do kog otkrića on došao.
If someone is having some type of a mental issue,
ako neko ima neku mentalnu problem,
anger,
ljutnja,
guilt,
krivnja,
sorrow,
tuga,
he would have a corresponding cancer somewhere in his body.
On će imati odgovarajući rak negdje u telu.
When he looked at scans of a human brain,
kad je vidio skeniranje ljudskog mozga,
he would see a shadow in the brain somewhere.
Znači, mogu da vidi neko zasenčenje u mozgu.
It would be in the same place in the brain.
Bilo bi na istom mjestu u mozgu.
Causing the same cancer.
Uzrokovalo bi isti rak.
And he'd trace it back, it would be the same conflict, the same mental conflict.
I bio bi isti mentalni konflikt.
So if you have a mental conflict,
ako imate mentalni konflikt,
get rid of it.
Otarasite se ga.
Here's what we do though.
Evo šta mi činimo.
When people are in great stresses,
kad su ljudi pod velikim stresom,
like cancer patients,
kao ljudi koji imaju rak,
they wear the brave mask.
Oni nose tu masku koja je kao hrabra.
They hold their fear inside.
Oni drže svoj strah unutra.
Or whatever negative emotions they have.
I sve druge negativne emocije koje imaju.
They call that psycho-emotional isolation.
To se psihoemocionalna izolacija.
That's not a good thing to do.
To nije dobra stvar činiti.
What should you do?
Šta bi trebali da učinite?
Find someone that you trust and talk with them.
Nađite nekog kome verujete i razgovarajte sa njim.
Get these things out of your heart.
Znači, izvadite to iz vašeg srca.
This is backed up by science.
Ovo je
Science.
podupreto naukom.
28,000 men,
28.000 muškaraca,
middle age,
srednjom doba,
10 years,
10 godina,
studied done by Harvard University.
istraživali su ih na Harvard univerziteta.
They were looking at things that promoted death by heart disease.
Gledali su šta uzrokuje uzrok smrtnosti kod bolesti srca.
They took into consideration people's different diets,
Uzeli su njihove različite ishrane,
their activity rates,
nivo aktivnosti koji su imali,
and they tried to narrow it down to things that would be mental.
i hteli su da sumiraju na mentalni deo.
They found two things.
I našli su dve stvari.
People who did not have a social network around them.
Ljudi koji nisu imali prijatelji koji su ih okruživali.
Friends, neighbors, family.
Znači komšije, prijatelji, rođaci.
And the second thing,
I drugi,
didn't attend church on a weekly basis.
nisu išli u crkvu svake nedelje.
What happened to these people?
Šta se desilo tim ljudima?
They had a far greater risk of dying of premature heart disease.
Imali su puno veći rizik od umiranja od bolesti srca.
Just from these two things right here.
Samo od ove dve stvari.
Everything else factored out.
Sve drugo bilo isključeno.
But Solomon wrote about that.
A Solomon je pričao o tome.
What did he say?
Šta je rekao?
He says two are better than one.
Dva su bolje nego jedan.
If one falls
Ako jedan padne
into depression,
u depresiju,
into anger,
u ljutnju,
into temptation,
u neko iskušenje,
the other can pick him up.
drugi može da ga podigne.
If you get mad for 5 minutes,
Ako ste ljuti 5 minuta,
what's it going to do to your immune system?
šta će to da učini s vašim imunim sistemom?
It will reduce it for 6 hours.
Znači smanjit će ga za 6 sati.
But on the same hand,
Ali sa iste strane,
if you feel appreciated for just 5 minutes,
ako ste cenili samo 5 minuta,
it will strengthen your immune system for 6 hours.
jačat će vaš imunni sistem na 6 sati.
When does that begin in our lives?
Kada to počinje u našem životu?
When can you feel appreciation?
Kada može da osjetite da se neko cenio?
Or when you feel love?
Ili da ste osjećali ljubav nečiju?
October 1995,
Oktobar 1995.
twins were born,
Bliznakinje su rođene,
12 weeks premature,
12 nedelja pre rano.
one perfectly healthy.
Jedna je bila savršeno zdrava,
The other one was very sick.
a druga je bila jako bolesna.
The oxygen in her blood was very low in her lungs.
Znači nivo kiselnika u krvi je bio jako nizak,
Her heart rate was very irregular.
znači rad srca je bio neregularan.
And one day, her temperature started going up.
Jednog dana njena temperatura je počela da raste
And they realized they were going to lose that little girl.
i oni su shvatili da će oni da izgube ovu devojku.
There's nothing they could do.
Da ništa ne mogu da učine.
But there is a nurse in charge of this unit.
Ali tu je bila glavna sestra tog odeljenja.
She took the healthy baby
Ona je uzela zdravu bebu
and put her in with her sister.
i stavila je sa svojom sestrom.
The first thing that healthy sister did
Prva stvar koju je ta zdrava sestra učinila
was put her arm around her sister.
je zagrlila svoju sestru.
And as soon as she did that,
I čim je to uradila,
her oxygen saturation went up,
njen kiselnik u krvi se povećao,
heart rate became regular,
rad srca je postao regularan
temperature went down.
i temperatura se snizila.
And they are very close even today.
I oni su bliski danas.
So it begins at birth, right?
Znači to počinje sa rođenjem, zar ne?
This appreciation.
To da vas neko ceni.
No, before that.
Ne, još i ranije.
I believe it begins after conception.
Ja verujem da se to desi posle začeća.
You know, if a woman is pregnant
Kada je žena trudna
and the father talks to the baby through the woman's skin
i kada otac priča sa bebom kroz kožu
and sings to the baby,
i peva detetu,
when that baby is born,
kad je to dete rođeno,
when the father speaks,
kad otac govori,
the baby turns his face in that direction.
bebe okreće lice u drugu smeru.
He knows,
U tom smeru.
the baby knows the voice.
Beba zna glas.
Now, there are many birth defects.
Postoji raznih defekata rođenja.
There's one called spinal bifida.
Postoji jedan koji se zove spinalna bifida.
Basically, the spine is exposed in the lower back.
I znači, kičmeni stup je ispoljen napolje.
There's a doctor in America that repairs it while the baby's still in the womb.
Postoji doktor u Americi koji popravlja te operacije u operacijama dok su one još u utrobi.
Opens the woman's abdomen.
Otvorio je abdomen žene.
Brings the placenta out.
Izvadio je matericu.
Opens it.
Otvori matericu.
Goes inside and repairs the damage.
Znači uđe unutra u matericu, popravi tu oštećenje.
The doctor had just finished the operation.
Znači doktor je završio operaciju.
As he's getting ready to close the wound.
I čime bi se spremao da zatvori matericu.
A little hand comes out and grabs his finger.
Mala ruka izlazi i uhvatila moj prst.
How do I interpret that?
Kako ja mogu to da shvatim?
That baby knew what that doctor had done.
Ta beba je znala šta je taj doktor učinio za nju.
And that baby appreciated it.
I ta beba je to cenila.
The baby was born perfectly normal.
I beba je rođena savršeno normalno.
Don't hold negative emotions.
Ne zadržavajte te negativne emocije.
It creates chronic stress.
To stvara hronični stres.
What does the Bible say? Solomon.
Šta Biblija kaže, Sveto pismo?
As a man thinks, so is he.
Ono što čovjek misli, on je to.
See, these things written 3,000 years ago.
Ovo je pisano pre 3000 godina.
Science is just catching up.
Nauka je čak danas dolazi do toga.
Many times people are injured.
Puno puta ljudi su povređeni.
Especially as children.
Pogotovo deca.
But they wear that happy mask.
Ali oni nose tu kao masku.
So it goes to that picture again.
I onda se vraćamo do ove slike.
All right, let's take away the blocks.
Ajmo da skinemo ove crne blokove.
Are those happy smiles?
Da li su srećni osmesi?
Are they?
Da li su? Yes. Ne.
They are so unhappy.
Oni su toliko nesrećni.
Now you may want to argue with me.
Mislite možda možete svađati sa mnom?
But you can't.
Ali ne možete.
Because that's me.
Jer sam ovo ja.
My father is taking the picture.
Moj otac nas je slikao.
And we were terrified of our father.
I mi smo bili uplašeni od našeg oca.
Smile!
Nasmeši se!
We put the best smile we could on there.
Ja, mi smo se trudili da najbolji osmeh stavimo.
Now, in this family,
u ovoj porodici,
who would have the hardest job?
Koje dete bi imalo najteži posao?
Of those 4 children.
Od toj 4 dece.
It's always the same.
Uvijek je isto.
The oldest one.
Najstariji.
That's the one that tries to hold you together.
To je taj koji uvijek pokušava da drži sve zajedno.
Now, I tried to have this sister send me the bigger picture the other day.
I ja sam pre neki dan tražio ovu sestru mi pošalje veću sliku.
Because I only have this picture.
Jer imam samo ovu sliku.
So you only see, her name was Kathy.
Vi samo vidite sada ovu sliku Kathy.
You can only see her left hand.
Vi možete samo vidjeti njenu levu ruku.
She's holding me.
Ona me drži.
Her right hand
njena desna ruka
is holding the other sister.
I drži druge sestre.
That was her job.
To je bio njen posao.
My father was an alcoholic, I'm sorry.
Moj otac je bio alkoholičar.
And he was not a patient man.
I on nije bio strpljiv čovjek.
My parents separated in 1956.
Moji roditelji su se razdvojili 1956.
The happiest summer of my life.
Najsrećnije leto moga života.
But then my father talked my mother into coming back.
Ali onda je moj otac nagovorio moju majku da se vrati.
My sister Kathy never forgave her for that.
Moja sestra Kathy nikad joj nije to oprostila.
She put on the happy face.
Ona je stavila taj osmeh na lice.
But she had that thing in her heart.
Ali je imala to u svome srcu.
And what did it do?
I šta je to učinilo?
July of 2015.
Jula 2015.
We buried that great girl.
Mi smo sahranili ovu devojku.
Yeah, I miss my sister.
Mi nedostaje moja sestra.
You know, we don't appreciate how much we love somebody until they're gone.
Mi ne cenimo ljubav onih koji imamo dok nisu među nama.
If you have negative emotions about anybody,
ako imate negativne emocije ka bilo kome,
get rid of them.
onda rasite se toga.
America had a civil war.
Amerika je imala taj civilni rat.
Brothers against brothers.
Braća protiv braća.
It was a terrible war.
I to je bio očaj rat.
One of the greatest battles was the battle called Gettysburg.
I najveća bitka je bila bitka za Gettysburg.
75 years after that battle,
75 godina posle te bitke,
the surviving soldiers met.
Ti vojnici koji su preživali su se opet sastali.
The South and the North.
Znači jug i sever.
And they shook hands.
I rukovali su se.
We need to do this.
Ja mislim da mi moramo to da učinimo.
Many people hold sorrow in their hearts.
Znači puno ljudi drži tugu u sebi.
Get over it.
Pređite preko toga.
They feel guilt.
Osjećaju krivnju.
They feel anger.
Osjećaju ljutnju.
We got to get rid of those things.
Moramo da se klonimo tih stvari.
You've got that problem right here in Serbia.
Vi imate taj isto problem u Srbiji.
It's time to get over it.
Vreme je da zaboravite to.
It's killing you.
To vas ubija.
And it's time to put the war behind you.
I vreme je da stavite taj rat za sebe.
Unforgiveness in medical books is considered a disease.
Neopraštanje u zdravstvenim knjigama je smatra se kao bolest.
So let's say you're angry at somebody.
Samo da kažem da ste vi ljuti na nekoga.
I'm not going to forgive him.
Neću da im oprostim.
It's like you drinking poison.
To je kao da vi pijete otrov,
hoping the other person's going to die.
A nada da će se druga osoba da umre.
But it's only killing you.
Ali u stvari to samo ubija vas.
If a person, let's say someone who has cancer.
Ali kažem da osoba sad koja ima rak.
If they have chronic stress from some negative emotions.
Ako imaju hroničan stres od nekih negativnih emocija.
It's going to destroy their immune system.
Da će ubiti njihov imunni sistem.
Which God gave us to fight the cancer.
Što nam je Tvorac dao da se borimo protiv raka.
Negative emotions like stress are going to increase our risk of heart disease.
Znači negativne emocije će povećati rizik od bolesti srca.
Raise our blood pressure.
Povećat će krvni pritisak.
And increase our risk of strokes.
I povećat će nivo od moždanog udara.
And those two are your main two killers here in Serbia.
I ovo su dva glavna ubice u Srbiji.
A study done in New York City.
Istraživanje rađeno u Sjedinjenim Državama u New Yorku.
People who were more hostile.
Ljudi koji su bili možda više onako ljutiti.
Had 3 times more heart attacks.
Imali su 3 puta više srčanih udara.
Well, what's Solomon say?
I šta je Solomon rekao?
Yeah, as a man thinks, so is he.
Onako kako čovjek misli, on je takav.
But when you thinking about something,
ali kad razmišljamo o nečemu,
it leads us to another medical term.
A to nas vodi do jednog drugog medicinskog izraza.
Have you heard of placebo?
Jeste čuli za placebo?
Everyone's heard of placebo.
Svi su čuli za placebo.
This was a brilliant man.
Ovo je jedan veliki, briljantan čovjek.
He had 3 doctor's degrees.
Imao je 3 doktorata.
He lived down in Southern California.
On je živio u Južnoj Kaliforniji.
One winter he's invited to do a series of lectures up in the state of Maine.
I on je imao da održi neka predavanja u ovoj državi Maine.
Now, if you're not used to the United States,
ako ne znate baš jedne države,
Southern California, it's very warm.
U Južnoj Kaliforniji je dosta toplo.
In Maine, it is cold.
U Maineu je hladno.
So he flew up to Maine.
I on je leteo u Maine.
He was staying in somebody's home.
I on je ostao u nečijem domu.
They knew he was from warm country.
Oni su znali da on je iz toplog dela zemlje.
So they turned up the heat in just his room.
I oni su uključili grejanje samo u njegovoj sobi.
It was so hot he couldn't breathe.
Bilo je toliko toplo da nije mogao da diše.
So after everything was quiet in the house,
I kad je bilo sve tiho u kući,
it's dark,
mračno,
gets out of bed,
izašao iz kreveta,
goes over,
otišao je
and opens the window.
I otvorio prozor.
Cool air comes in.
Hladan vazduh je ušao.
The temperature goes down.
Temperatura se snizila.
He has a great night of rest.
Imao je odličnu noć odmora.
First thing in the morning,
prva stvar ujutro,
he goes to close the window.
Ide da zatvori prozor.
And he notices something about northern windows.
I onda je primetio kakvi su prozori na severu.
They don't have one window.
Oni nemaju samo jedne prozore.
They have 2 windows.
Imaju duple prozore.
Sometimes they will have 3 windows.
A nekad imaju trostruke prozore.
So when he opened the window,
I kad je otvorio prozor,
no cold air came in.
Nikakav hladan vazduh nije ušao.
No fresh air came in.
I nikakav svež vazduh nije ušao.
But he felt it.
Ali on to osjetio.
He felt it get cool in there.
I osjetio da je bilo hladnije.
Where was it?
Gdje je to bilo?
In his mind.
U njegovom umu.
Placebo is powerful.
A placebo je jako, ima veliku moć.
What's the opposite of placebo?
Šta je kontra od placeba?
There's an opposite.
Ima kontra od toga opet.
It's called nocebo.
To je nocebo.
It's very similar to a thing called voodoo.
Slično je kao vudu.
Have you heard of voodoo?
Čuli ste za vudu?
If you believe in voodoo,
Ako verujete u vudu,
it can kill you in one night.
može da vas ubije za jednu noć.
So they were doing a nocebo experiment.
I radili su nocebo eksperiment.
They got 34 girls at a university.
Imali su 34 devojke u univerzitetu.
Said, we're going to put this thing on your head.
Stavit ćemo ovo na vašu glavu.
It will send out a small electrical charge. You will not feel it,
Nećete osjetiti,
but sometimes a person might get a headache.
ali ponekad osoba će dobiti neku glavobolju.
How much electricity do you think they put through their heads?
Šta mislite koliko struje su stavili kroz njihovu glavu?
None, exactly right. None. How many got headaches?
Koliko njih je dobilo glavobolje?
2/3.
2/3.
Why?
Zašto?
It was a nocebo. They were told it might hurt you.
Zato što to nocebo, zato mi je rečeno da će ih to boleti.
Another study was done in Italy.
Još jedno istraživanje rađeno u Italiji.
They made a placebo
Imali su placebo
and they gave it to people saying this will help you sleep at night.
i rečeno mi da će im ovo pomoći da spavaju toku noći.
For women, it was a placebo.
Za žene to je bio placebo.
They take this empty thing and it would make them sleep.
Oni su uzeli u praznu tabletu i to bi ih učinilo da spavaju.
For men,
Za muškarce
it was a nocebo.
je bio nocebo.
They couldn't sleep.
Nisu mogli da spavaju.
They'd never seen this happen.
Kaže, ovo mi se nikada nije ranije desilo.
Until finally someone says, I know what the problem
Dok
is.
neko je rekao, ja konačno znam u čemu je problem.
It's the color of the placebo.
To je boja placeba.
What's that got to do with anything?
Šta to ima veze sa bilo čim?
It was the color of the Italian national football team's jerseys.
Znači, to su bile boje istih dresova što ima italijanski fudbalski tim.
And they were doing terrible.
I oni su imali loše rezultate.
So when they saw that pill at night,
I kada su videli tu tabletu u toku noći,
they looked at the lousy record of their football team.
oni su gledali na loše rezultate fudbalskog tima.
And they laid there at night worried about their football team.
I oni su ležali i brinuli se o fudbalskom timu.
Now one more example of a placebo.
Evo još jedan primjer placeba.
Tibor Rubin, Hungarian,
Mađar,
Jew.
Jevrin.
World War II, he and his family were all put in a concentration
U
camp.
Drugom svjetskom ratu on i njegova cijela porodica su stavili u konclogor
His whole family died.
i cijela njegova porodica su umrli.
He was the only survivor.
On je bio jedini koji je preživeo.
He spent about 5 or 6 years in a concentration camp.
Znači on je proveo 5 do 6 godina u konclogoru.
In 1945, the Americans liberated the camp.
Znači 1945. Amerikanci su oslobodili njegov
He
kamp.
immigrated to the United States.
Emigrirao u Sjedinjene države.
In 1950,
1950.
America got involved in the Korean conflict.
Znači Amerikanci su ušli u konflikt sa Koreancima.
He enlisted in the army.
On se prijavio za vojsku.
He wanted to pay his country back.
On je htio da se oduži svojoj zemlji.
So he goes to Korea.
I otišao u Koreju.
He was a brave soldier.
Bio je hrabar vojnik.
But he gets captured by the communist Chinese.
Ali su ga uhvatili komunisti Kinezi.
Got put into a prisoner of war camp.
I stavili su ga u zarobljenički kamp.
Now he knows how to survive.
I on zna kako da preživi.
But many of the prisoners did not.
Ali puno drugih zatvorenika to nije znalo.
And one man was dying.
I jedna osoba je umirala.
And he said, I gotta help him.
Kaže, ja moram da pomognem.
The man had given up hope.
I on je već odustao, taj čovjek.
Now the Chinese kept some goats inside the prisoner of war compound.
Znači, Kinezi su držali tu među zatvorenicima neki koze.
So he went out there one day.
Znači, on je otišao jedan dan.
And he picked up a bunch of goat droppings.
I on je pokupio nekoliko brabonjaka od koze.
And he played with them a little bit.
I malo se igrao sa njima.
And he turned them into, look like little tablets.
I pretvorio ih u neke male tablete.
Dried them in the sun.
Osušio ih je na suncu.
Then he went into this man.
I onda otišao kod ovog čoveka.
He says, I made a deal with one of the guards.
Kaže, napravio sam neki dogovor sa stražarima.
He gave me their most powerful medicine.
Dao mi neke najbolje lekove.
If you take these,
Ako uzmeš ove,
you'll get well.
bit će ti bolje.
So I gave him a goat dropping.
I onda mu je dao brabonke.
And every day he got a goat dropping.
I svaki dan je dobio te brabonke.
He got completely well.
i potpuno se izlečio.
What's the pharmaceutical value of a goat dropping?
Kakvu farmaceutsku vrednost imaju ovi vrapnici?
Probably has some vitamin B12 in it.
Možda ima neki B12 unutra.
But what really affected that man?
Ali šta je stvarno uticalo na čovjeka?
Encouraging words. His mind.
Njegov um.
Yeah. And we need to always be speaking encouraging words.
I mi stalno trebamo da govorimo ohrabrujuće stvari.
If you want to speak negative words,
ako želite govoriti negativne stvari,
go outside and talk to the sky.
Idite napolje i pričajte s nebom.
No one wants to hear it.
Niko ne želi to da sluša.
Now, because he was a Jew,
i zato što je bio Jevrej,
he was recommended for America's highest medal.
On je bio preporučen za američku najbolju medalju.
But because he was a Jew, he never got it.
A zato što je bio Jevrej, nikad je nije dobio.
But finally,
ali konačno,
under President George Bush,
ali kad je bio George Bush,
he received the Congressional Medal of Honor.
On je dobio tu medalju časti.
Amazing man.
Nevjerovatan čovjek.
Now there's a doctor who wrote a chapter in the Bible.
Postoji doktor koji je napisao jednu poglavlju u Bibliji.
What was the doctor's name?
Kako je njegovo ime?
Dr. Luke.
Dr. Luka.
Now he took another biblical principle.
On je imao još jedan biblijski princip.
Men's hearts failing them for fear.
Ljudi će umirati od straha.
Fear is a terrible thing.
Strah je očajna stvar.
We get lots of hurricanes in America.
Ima puno uragana u Americi.
There was a real bad one in the city of New Orleans a few years ago.
Postoji jedan jako loš koji je ubio New Orleansu.
Killed many people.
Ubio puno ljudi.
Then the sun came out and everything was fine.
I onda je sunce opet došlo, sve bilo u redu.
But then people started having hurricane heart attacks.
I onda su ljudi imali uraganske srčane udare.
They had 3 times more heart attacks.
Imali su 3 puta više.
For the whole next year.
Cijele jedne godine.
Why?
Zašto?
Looking back at the fear they had in their hearts.
Znači strah koji su gledali da imaju u svojim srcima.
Okay, stress. Stress can have many manifestations.
Stres ima više manifestacija.
We can have headaches,
glavobolje,
depression, tiredness,
depresija, umor, iritacija, ljutnja.
What is stress?
Šta je stres?
It's a reaction to a stressor.
To je neka reakcija na stresor.
Okay? For one person, they got stress. Another person, no stress.
Znači, za jednu osobu je to stres, za drugu nije.
I lived here for 3 years.
Ovdje sam živio 3 godine.
Would you like to live there?
Da li bi volili ovdje da živite?
This was Hawaii.
Ovo su Havaji.
I lived there for 3 years.
Ja sam tamo živio 3 godine.
This is the Mojave Desert.
Ovo je Mojave pustinja.
Would you like to live there?
Da li bi volili tamo da živite?
I lived there for 2 years.
Ja sam tamo živio 2 godine.
What was my favorite place?
Koje je moje omiljeno mjesto?
The Mojave Desert.
Mojave pustinja.
Why?
Zašto?
Because I was happy there.
Zato što sam bio srećan tamo.
It's not about where you are.
Nije bitno gde ste.
You know, people sit there and say, I don't like Serbia.
Ljudi kažu možda ja ne volim da živim u Srbiji.
So they immigrate to America.
I onda oni emigriraju u Ameriku.
If they take themselves with them, they're not going to like America either.
Ako sebe dovedu tamo, oni neće ni Ameriku voleti.
It's how we look at the circumstances around us.
Bitno je onako kako gledamo okolnosti koje su oko nas.
This man is stuck in traffic.
On je se zaglavio u saobraćaju.
Is he happy?
Da li je on srećan?
No, he's got stress.
Ne, on ima stres.
This woman's stuck in traffic.
Ona je isto zaglavljena u saobraćaju.
How's she dealing with the traffic?
Kako se ona nosi sa tim saobraćajem?
It's an opportunity to sit back and relax a little bit.
Mogućnost da se odmori malo i da se sedi.
It's how they're looking at the problem.
To je onako kako oni gledaju na problem.
I like to take walks.
Ja volim se šetam ujutro.
I was walking down a road one day, early in the morning, still dark out.
Znači, to je bilo jutro i je dalje bio mrak.
And here comes a dog running at me.
I onda je pas trčao prema meni.
What kind of a dog?
Kakav pas?
That dog right there.
Ovakav pas.
And when I looked at the dog,
I kad sam ga pogledao,
I knew what the dog was thinking.
znao sam šta je pas mislio.
He was thinking, here comes breakfast.
Kaže, evo ga doručak.
And I was on the menu.
I ja sam bio na meniju.
Now, as soon as that happens,
I čim se to desi,
a physiological change takes place in the body.
Fiziološka promjena se dolazi u telo.
It's a stress response.
To je odgovor na stres.
My adrenal glands give off adrenaline.
Znači, moja nadmoćna žlezda odluči adrenalin.
Causes my eyes to dilate.
Znači, moje oči se šire.
My respiration to increase.
Moje disanje se povećava.
My heart rate to increase.
Moje srce, rad srca se povećava.
My blood to go from my skin to my muscles.
Krv ide sa kožom mišićem.
That's why people sort of turn pale.
Zato nekada ljudi poblede.
Hair stands on end.
Znači kosa se diže na glavi.
Blood pressure goes up.
Pritisak se diže.
This is a gift that God gave us.
Ovo je dar koji nam je Bog dao.
What was it for?
Zašto je on?
If you're being attacked, you can fight back.
Ako se vas neko napadne, možete se boriti protiv njega.
If you can't fight,
ako ne možeš,
you can run.
Možete trčite.
Because you get all this extra energy.
Ili imate tu ekstra energiju.
I could not run from this dog, he was too close.
Ja nisam mogao da pobegnem od ovog psa, nek bio preblizu.
I'm not going to fight a big Rottweiler.
Neću da se borim protiv Rottweilera.
So what do you do now?
I šta onda činite?
I stopped.
Ja sam se zaustavio.
I faced the dog.
Pogledao sam psa.
I put up my hand.
I digao sam ruku.
And I quoted part of a Bible verse.
I citirao sam deo biblijskog stiha.
See, if you study the Bible,
I ako čitate Bibliju,
there's a solution for every problem.
Postoji solucija za svaki problem.
So here's what I said.
I evo što sam joj rekao.
The Bible says,
Sveto pismo kaže,
an Egyptian dog should not wag his tongue against an Israelite.
Kaže, egipatski pas neće lajati na Izraelca.
And as soon as I said that,
I čim sam to rekao,
it's like a fence went up.
Kao da se ograda podigla.
The dog cannot move.
Pas nije mogu da se pomeri.
There's power in God's word.
Postoji sila u Božjoj reči.
Some people have chronic stress.
Neki ljudi imaju hroničan stres.
This will kill you.
Ovo će vas ubiti.
Okay? This guy's in a stressful situation.
On je u stresnoj situaciji.
What can he do?
Što on može da učini?
Argue back?
Da li se vratio?
Never works.
Nikad to ne pove za rukom.
So what do?
I šta moraš da učiniš?
You take your mind somewhere else.
Morate vaš da odvedete negdje drugdje.
And let the stressor blow themselves off.
I da ti stresori se izduvaju.
Many people have chronic stress over finances.
Puno ljudi ima hronični stres oko financija.
Worry.
Briga.
95% of the things you worry about are never going to happen.
95% stvari kome ti brineš se nikad neće desiti.
So let's do a little story here.
Evo jednu priču vam ispričam.
She looks like she's worrying.
On izgleda kao da se brine.
Why?
Zašto?
It's 6 o'clock.
6 sati je.
Her husband's not at home.
Suprug nije došao kući.
Why has he not called me?
Zašto me nije zvao?
Then she starts thinking about things that probably happened.
I ona razmišlja o stvarima koje se može desiti.
He got fired.
Dobio otkaz.
He's packing everything out of his office.
Pakuje se sad iz svog ureda.
No, on his way home, the car broke down.
I na putu kući se auto pokvario.
It's going to cost us more money.
Košta će nas više novca.
No, maybe he got in an accident.
Možda je imao saobraćajnu nesreću.
Maybe it was a really bad accident.
Možda je to bila jako teška saobraćajna nesreća.
That's it. He's been in a bad accident.
Da, bio u velikoj saobraćajnoj nesreći.
My husband's dead.
Moj suprug je mrtav.
I'm going to have to call the family and I tell them my husband just got
Moram
killed.
da zovem porodicu da kaže da mi je suprug umro.
I'm going to have to plan for his funeral.
Moram da planiram sahranu njegovu.
I'm going to have to sell the house.
Moram da prodam kuću.
Then the husband walks in.
I onda suprug ušeta.
All that worrying for nothing.
Sva ova briga ni za šta.
I'm going to give you some keys.
Daću vam neke ključeve.
When you feel stress,
Kad se osjetite pod stresom,
close your eyes and relax a minute.
zatvorite oči i opustite se na minutu.
We usually say count to 10.
Obično kažemo brojite do 10.
Take some deep breaths.
Uzmite neke duboke disaje.
If you can,
Ako ne možete,
get some exercise.
imajte neku fizičku aktivnost.
But something else you can do.
Ali evo šta još možete da učinite.
Whatever's causing you the stress,
Šta god prouzrokuje stres,
look at it a different way.
pogledajte na drugi način.
Okay? Now let's look at this picture a little bit differently.
Hajde da pogledamo sliku na drugi način.
Notice how it's going to change everything.
Vidite kako će se sve promeniti.
Yeah. So we look at the stressor in a different way.
Sada gledamo stres na drugačiji način
It can change our stress response.
i onda će biti drugačiji odgovor na stres.
True story.
Istinita priča.
This is Miami, Florida.
Ovo je u Miami, Floridi.
A man has an important business appointment up north.
Znači, jedan čovjek ima jedan važan sastanak na severu.
He's going to the airport.
Ide na aerodrom.
He's stuck in traffic.
Zaglavio se u saobraćaju.
This business appointment is worth millions of dollars.
Ovaj sastanak je vredan milione dolara.
Does he feel stress?
Da li se nosio pod stresom?
Yeah, he feels lots of stress.
Da, on nosio puno stresa.
He gets to the airport as his plane is taking off.
Znači, on tamo dolazi na aerodrom, a njegov avion uzleće.
He's ready to kill himself.
I spreman je da izvrši
He's
samoubistvo.
lost it all.
Izgubio je sve.
But he didn't understand one thing.
Ali jednu stvar nije
Another
razumio.
biblical principle.
Još jedan biblijski princip.
All things work together for good.
Sve ide na dobro.
If you can get this in your minds,
Ako možete da ovo stavite u vaš um,
everything will change.
sve će se promeniti.
You see, as he's sitting there in the airport,
I dok je sedao na aerodromu,
there was an announcement made about 15 minutes after his plane took off.
bila je da izjava 15 minuta pošto je avion poleteo.
That plane
Taj avion
crashed in southern Florida.
srušio se u južnoj Floridi.
Went straight down in the swamps.
Otišao je pravo u močvaru.
Completely buried the airplane.
Kompletno je sahranjen avion bio.
Is he thankful he missed the plane?
Da li on sada zahvalan što je izgubio ovaj avion?
Yeah, he's thankful he missed the plane.
Da, on je zahvalan.
Because he would have been down there too with the alligators.
Jer bi i on isto bio tu među aligatorima.
We got to live one day at a time.
Moramo da živimo za jedan dan.
God has a favorite name for himself.
Bog ima omiljeno ime za sebe.
It's I am.
To je ja sam.
Don't worry about tomorrow.
Nemojte da brinete za sutra.
God is I am. That's today.
Bog je ja sam.
You cannot affect tomorrow.
Vi ne možete da utičete na sutra.
Don't worry about yesterday.
Nemojte da brinete za prošlost.
God is
Juče.
I am.
Bog je ja sam.
Let yesterday go.
Pustite juče da ode.
All you have is today.
Sve što imate danas.
We got to think positively about life.
Moramo pozitivno da razmišljamo o životu.
It helps if we eat a good diet.
Pomaže ako se zdravo hranimo.
It helps to have friends around us.
Pomaže ako imamo prijatelje oko nas.
It helps if our surroundings are messy to clean them up.
Ako imamo sredinu koja je u kršu, da očistimo to.
Have you ever noticed when it rains, children like to walk through the puddles?
Si primetili kada pada kiša, deca vole da hodaju po vodi?
Maybe we should walk through a few more puddles.
Možda mi trebali da hodamo kroz neke bareme.
Don't take life so seriously.
Nemojte da uzimate život tako ozbiljno.
We talked about this last night.
Sinoć smo o ovome govorili.
Does anyone remember what that says?
Da li neko se sjeća šta je ovo?
Shinrin Yoku.
Shimin Yoku.
Taking a walk in the forest.
Da se šetate u šumi.
Very good for stress.
Jako je dobro za stres.
And if you feel like crying, cry.
I ako hoćete da plačete, plačete.
There's stress hormones in tears.
Postoje hormoni stresa u suzama.
Then you can always pray.
Ali možete uvijek da se pomolite.
Okay, one last story.
Jedna posljednja priča.
Some people are stressed but they got so much work to do.
Ljudi imaju toliko stresa od silnog posla koji imaju.
Some have overbearing bosses.
Neki imaju jako loše šefove.
Some are afraid of how fast time is going.
Neki se boje kako vreme brzo prolazi.
I don't have any of those problems.
Ja nisam imao nikakvih tih problema.
But I did have a stressor one time.
Ali jednom trenutku sam imao jednog velikog stresora.
That bird.
Ova ptica.
Hated that bird.
Ja sam mrzeo ovu pticu.
Now, he's a night bird.
Ovo je noćna ptica.
So all during the day you never hear him.
Znači, preko cijelog dana vi ne čujete tu pticu.
Then the sun sets.
Onda sunce izađe.
Time to go to bed.
Vreme je da idemo da spavamo.
I turn out the light.
I ugasim svetlo.
And the bird would wake up.
I onda bi se ta ptica probudila.
And it would start to sing.
I onda bi počeo da peva.
This is what he sounds like.
I ovako to zvuči.
Try to sleep during this.
Pokušajte da spavate sa ovim.
Someone once counted how many times it does that before it pauses.
Neko u stvari čak i izbroja koliko ovog puta ptica ovo uredi pre nego što se samo zaustavi da uzme dah.
1088 times.
1088 puta.
It was a stressor.
To je bio veliki stresor.
I hated that bird.
Ja sam mrzeo tu pticu.
Now I was a military man.
Znači ja sam bio u vojsci.
And I've got guns.
Ja imam vatreno oružje.
This is one of them, a double barrel shotgun.
Ovo je jedno od njih, to je ona dvocevka.
I wanted to kill that bird.
Ja sam hteo da strelim tu pticu.
Never could find it.
Nikad nisam mogao da nađem.
But one day I got a magazine in the mail.
Ali onda sam jedanput dobio jedan časopis u pošti.
A conservation magazine.
To je časopis o zaštiti životinja.
And there was an article about that bird in the magazine.
I to je bio jedan artikal o toj ptici u tom časopisu.
It told me what its favorite food was.
I rečeno mi u tom časopisu koja je njegova omiljena hrana.
Do you know what his favorite food is?
Znate koja je njegova omiljena hrana?
my worst enemy.
Moj najveći neprijatelj.
I hate this thing more than anything.
Ja mrzim ovo više od bilo čega.
It can wake me up on the darkest, soundest sleep.
Može da me probudi iz najdubljeg sna.
When I learned that bird was eating mosquitoes,
Kad sam saznao da ova ptica jede komarce,
it never bothered me again.
nikad mi više nije smetala.
It sang the same song,
I dalje je istu stvar pevala,
but I love that song now.
ali ja sada volim tu pesmu.
What changed?
Šta se promenilo?
I changed.
Ja sam se promenio.
You cannot change all your stresses.
Vi ne možete da promenite vaše stresove.
You can only change you.
Samo možete da promenite vas.
So whatever is giving you the stress,
Šta god vam daje stres,
look at it a different way.
pogledajte na drugačiji način.
Or ask God, help me, Lord, with this thing.
Ili kada pitate Gospoda da vam pomogne sa ovim problemom.
May you love all of your night birds,
I volite sada sve noćne ptice.
whatever your stressors are.
Šta god je baš stresor.
That's it.
To je to.
I kept you 10 minutes over.
Malo sam vas 10 minuta zadržao previše.
But this is the most important program I gave.
Ali ovo je najvažnije predavanje koje ja dajem.
90% of diseases.
90% bolesti.
You strengthen your immune system here.
Ovdje ćete ojačati vaš imunni sistem.
You avoid cancer and heart disease and diabetes here.
Znači ovdje zaustavljate i rak, i dijabetes, i bolesti srca.
You extend your lifespan here.
Vi produžavate vaš život odavde.
You live healthier here.
Vi živite zdravlje odavde.
So go